much once again, Venerable Bodhicitta, for giving us this Dhamma talk this evening at the Medical Dhamma Circle. So, just to introduce to everyone, Venerable Bodhicitta is a well-experienced meditation teacher. Over 35 years of practice, Venerable was an Anagarika under the Ajahn Chah forest tradition. Venerable was ordained as a seminary by Venerable P. Sewali Mahatero in 2007. Bhikkhuni received her Upasampada in 2010 at Dekadewala Bhikkhuni Training Center in Sri Lanka under the tutelage of Venerable Dr. M. Punaji Mahatera, Venerable Dr. Bhikkhuni Soma. A Sri Lankan by birth, her path of secular higher studies pursuing biomedicine in Australia met a surprising turn of events when the Dhamma made her view life in a different paradigm. The Venerable then started the journey of hopelessness, a clear and meaningful path of full-time commitment to spiritual endeavor. Venerable's main passion is to practice and actualize the Buddha's teachings. Her primary interest is transforming her own mind to contribute to society and to the welfare of others. Bhikkhuni aspires to be a person practicing bodhicitta, popular in the Mahayana tradition, to be totally selfless. She believes it is the only way to overcome emotional afflictions the world over is experiencing today, helping to bring all others to an elevated mind state that can experience a higher conscious level that frees one from all stress and suffering. She is the founder of the Melbourne Nisala Arana Meditation Center and Nisala Arana Nuns Monastery and Retreat Center in Sri Lanka. So with that, I'd like to invite Venerable to give us a talk on how does the practice of selflessness lead to ultimate happiness.
Chakravalesu atra gachantu devatam saddammang tunantu snaglanatu Harita savanakali ayam badantam Dhamma savanakali ayam badantam Dhamma savanakali ayam badantam Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Dear devotees in the Dhamma, welcome all of you to the Medical Dhamma Circle, and much merits for inviting me to share this Dhamma session with you all. So we chose a very timely topic that when in the world, when everyone is just thinking of this I, me and myself and living for the sake of my happiness and live a happy life with myself and just with my people, So when we are focused in this way, in the very self-centered way, and thinking about just oneself and living in that way, we are breeding the selfishness, and then more and more selfish we become, more and more stress we get. But Buddha pointed out there is another way to live. Is living selfishly, just thinking about I and me and myself, is very common to animals as well. They also just look for something to eat. They also sleep. They also produce their offsprings. They also have, like, some even have families. They just live like that. So if we also only have those things in our life, eating, sleeping, and just those little things, only to look after I and me and myself and just my family, we are no more different to an animal. But it is just thinking of just this oneself and the loved ones, and being ignorant of others' needs, others' feelings, and what they like, what they don't like, and all that, creates lot of problems. When we can't sense the feel how the others feel, we make decisions that can induce a lot of suffering to others, because we are not sensitive, we don't feel how they feel, we don't think, they are not in our picture, they are not in our world. So whatever we think, we decide, we talk, we do, we have no consideration for them. We just go about getting what I like and wanting to get rid of what I don't like. And now, not just sometimes, most of the times, now we have come to a point where we are doing this at the expense of others. We have become sensitive to others' needs and wants and how they feel and what they like and what they don't like. Because we know we don't like to die, we don't like to suffer, we don't like any physical, mental suffering. And then if we start to contemplate on others, that their welfare and well-being is also very important, because we didn't do that. So when we make decisions, we just go for what, to get what I like and to get rid of what I don't like. So in that process, many others get hurt. The planet Earth, the nature, the animals, the insects. So in this way of trying to pursue happiness and try to live a good life just in a very selfish way, leads to stress for everyone else around us. And ultimately, when we live with a bunch of stressed people, what they do is they stress us, and we end up getting stressed too. So when we do things selfishly, only thinking about I and me and myself and just my comforts and just be happy with just my people, my family, because we can't see the others, so we make a lot of wrong decisions. We do a lot of wrong talking. We do a lot of wrong things that leads others to be stressful, Not just that, even sometimes just destroy them. Sometimes it leads to even not just violence, the crimes even goes into war. So Buddha pointed out that living in this selfish way only leads to suffering. In Karaniya Metta Sutta, Buddha points out that we should develop this selfless attitude like a mother. Mothers are so selfless in a way when they have the child and how they look after the child. They don't think about even their life. When the child's life is in trouble, they will give up their life to save the child's life. That's the mother's unconditional love, kindness, compassion. So Buddha is saying in the same way we must develop that care, concern, love, kindness, compassion for others' welfare and well-being too. We must respect others' right to live. We must not trespass, but if we want to do something, we should not just destroy them and not um, give them pain and harm and hurt and suffering, but we should try to help, give what we have, the good things, share, and look after each other and things like that if we want to do something for them. At least if we can't do anything for their welfare and well-being, at least we should respect their right to live and we should just leave them alone. Directly or indirectly, we must not be in part of if someone is destroying or hurting or harming or killing any living being. So actually this practicing these 5 precepts means we are practically practicing the selfless way of living. This practicing the 5 precepts is called based on Attupanayaka Dhammapariyaya Padanam. That means putting yourself in others' shoes, feeling how the others feel, thinking from others' angle, thinking from their eyes, thinking from their views, thinking, just getting into their side and then being sensitive to how others feel. And then we all know that I don't like to suffer, I don't like to get hurt, I don't like to get killed. Then we must not do it for others, directly or indirectly. So keeping precepts means from the first precept that we say we respect life. We will not hurt, harm, destroy, or kill any living being. And the second one is we will respect their belongings. We will respect their relationships. We will respect the honesty. We will respect looking after ourselves and others and our brain, our mind. It's like that. So keeping the precepts means we practicing the selflessness. That's why it's not easy to practice the 5 precepts. We just recite it, but then we go and behave the way we want. But we can behave like that. We can live in a very selfish way, just earn money for ourselves, just have the food we like, and just spend everything on our clothes and shopping and tours and, to eat, to see, eat, to drink, to party. All this we can just spend our time, money, energy, everything. We can find momentary pleasure, happiness. But if we learn to live this way, what happens? When we are only focused about I and me and myself, there will come a time that our body will start to go in the sympathetic way, the fight or flight reaction, and all the time we will end up being stressed. As a bonus of living a self centered way of life, not thinking about others or others' welfare and well being, the bonus we get is stress. And then the stress will lead to anger, frustration, anxiety, worries, and then all these disturbed emotions, if it continues, it will stress the muscles, it will stress the physical body, and then disturb the mind. And we are living very unhappily, then that will lead to deepening to we even being able to commit cruel things or violence. So Buddha pointed out we can find happinesses in a very three selfish ways. One is just going after pleasing your senses. Just to please my senses, spending everything I have, utilizing everything I have is just to please my senses. So we can find some type of relaxation and a momentary pleasure, happiness, like that. And then there is another way to find happiness, that is by when this fight or flight reaction gets activated, we also start to enjoy that too. So people will get addicted to getting angry, for anxieties, worries, to have suspicions all the time, like that. They will start to enjoy their own emotions. If there was no happiness coming from them, why on earth people will get angry over and over and over? Why they would have anxiety, worries, and fears, and all this and that and that? Because we start to enjoy our own emotions. That will bring this dopamine rush, will bring some type of happiness. And then the worst kind of joy that we can get is by being violent. After this, if we don't control this ill will and the emotions that associated with that, then it will lead to violence, the cruelty. Then after doing violent things, cruel things, hurting others, they will start to get happiness. Oh, good. After I gave a good blow, I feel happy. So like that, when people engage in violence or cruelty, if they had to suffer, they will not do it. Because there is some type of enjoyment. That's why they are doing it. But Buddha is pointing out that it is wrong to find the relaxation and happiness in these three ways by developing the Kama Vitarka, Vyapada Vitarka, Hinsa Vitarka. Kama Vitarka means just only wanting to gratify your emotions, just wanting to gratify your desires. People think going after this karma, pleasing the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, they think leads to happiness. They say kam sapa. But Buddha is saying kamati jayati soko, kamati jayati paya. This going after pleasing your senses, developing those thoughts and developing these desires will only lead to lot of suffering, lot of stress and suffering. But most of us resort into finding relaxation and happiness in that way. As adults, now for us, just the TV is not enough, so we had created little these phones, and we say there is games, and we even give that to our children, so they keep on watching this through the phone, through a small computer even. They can watch and play games and things like that, and they get immediate relaxation and happiness coming from that. So we have now created a lot of methods to find instant pleasure, instant happiness. We have made many methods, but we have not understood that, just for example, playing games. It involves your brain, and it expends enormous amounts of energy that you have. Neurons have to fire, the hormones have to come, and you also get emotional, things like that. So in a sense, it's a stress to the body, to the brain, to the mind. But we take it as sapa, means good happiness. But this is the problem in the selfish way. If we just think about how to please our senses in these wrong ways, we do get pleasure, momentary pleasure, but there is a lot of consequences that's following that. So this is why Buddha is saying just living for the sake of wanting to eat the good things, wanting to watch good things, wanting to listen to good nice music, wanting to have tasty food, just wanting to please the body and just please the mind, is not worth. Because more we do that, we will get more and more addicted to that end, and we will need more and more stimulus, and we will have to spend more and more money. And then we try to satisfy our desires, but the problem is we can't satisfy it fully because there's endless, the desires are endless, no ending to it. One after another, one after another. So we cannot fully gratify it with satisfaction. So when we try to please our senses in this way, even though it looks innocent, my money, my car, my petrol, why can't I do it? Yes. But slowly, we will get addicted to find pleasure and this relaxation and happiness in those ways. But the thing is, we can't always gratify our desires. So then, developing this karma chanda, developing this desire and try to find happiness like that, have dire consequences. That is, when we can't get what we want, it will lead to frustration. When we have to depart from what we like, then it will lead to frustration. Then when we have to associate with not what we like, but something that we don't like, because it's all about this liking and disliking, no? I want to get what I like, I don't want what I don't. So that takes a lot of energy. So when we practice these emotions and try to get that quick pleasures and quick relaxation and happiness, and when we can't meet these requirements, then we get frustrated and we get angry, we will have anxieties, we will have worries, so it goes into another deeper level. So if you don't manage it at that level, it will go more deeper to this cruel level where we will be very hard, very harsh, very stubborn, very not listening to anyone. Just I want to do what I want to do. I want to say just what I want to say. And if I don't like someone, wanting to hurt will be the prime agenda, like that. It will go down to the cruelty where you will enjoy when someone is getting a hard time, you putting them in a difficult position, will lead to their happiness. Now my phone is saying battery is running out. Let me bring the charger and put it. So just excuse me, okay? Sorry about this.
Hi, is Venerable Bodhicitta sound on?
No, she said that
Actually,
she went to she needs to find a charger.
charger. Yeah, she need to find a charger because I
And
think
I
she's.
think this part here can pause the recording first, right?
It's okay. We'll cut after that because I think I still need to cover all the beeps and stuff.
All right, I'm back here. The thing
Oh,
is now my charger is not long enough for that.
Thank you, Venerable.
it's okay, take your time, Venerable.
Yes, hang on. Let's see. Now the thing is I have to go single also there. But you can't see my face, can you? Let me put
Sorry, is Venerable screen freezing? Okay, are you able to? Okay, I'm back on.
okay. And I hope it's charging. Okay. So, the worst, you can hear me now, yeah?
Yes.
The worst way to find pleasure and happiness is by practicing this violence or the cruelty. So, we just live the way we want, only thinking about I and me and myself and wanting to get what I like and not wanting to get what I don't like and wanting to remove it from me. This is where it will lead up to, from the developing the sensual thoughts, then it will go down to the thoughts of ill will, then it will go down to the thoughts of cruelty, and then it will manifest through the speech and the body. So when someone's mind come to that level, it's very difficult to live that with that person. To anyone who is around them, whether it's a family, there will be domestic violence. If they are in office, there will be kind of many physical, mental, bullying, harassment, violence will go on. We have people like that in the society, it will be very stressful to that society. So like that, we have people who have this type of a mind now that has gone down like to the animal level. It will be very difficult for everyone around to live with them. This is
Venerable, are you there?
You Venerable hang.
Yeah. Might scare you. You just wait.
Oh no, I think she got disconnected and trying to reconnect.
Okay. Venerable, you're back.
again, yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Because I just changed the position of my phone because I had to, because of the cord of the charger. But then looks like this spot has bit of it's only a few inches away from where it was before. Maybe it has poor signals, but let's see whether it will happen again. Then I will change, yeah, to a different position. But let's continue like this for now. So instead of having a soft mind, a flexible one, full of unconditional love, kindness, compassion, caringness, care for others' welfare and well-being, when we go down that other path, what we have is a very hardened up mind, very insensitive mind. So this is why they will go down to that level where they can even be happy, enjoy happiness by hurting others, by being cruel, by being mean, by being violent to others. Because our mind has come to that level. So in today's society, we can see this happening more and more. I don't know about Singapore. I think it should be very similar, the statistics. In Australia, we are trying hard. See, 25 years ago when I came here, we didn't have family violence or domestic violence. We hardly heard the word. But now it's everywhere. And we are trying our best, everyone who can influence. No success. The family violence, the domestic violence is going high. And in the office, bullying, the harassments, and this politics, they are also, it's not pleasant for people to work. They get stressed, and a lot of them go on stress leave. So this is a sign of when the people's minds are not developing, but they are just living for the sake of living, not understanding the humanness, the human nature, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Just allow the selfish gene to guide them. This is what will happen. So, if we don't want all this stress, this violence, domestic, in the office, in the society, cruelty, conflicts, the crimes, the wars, then we must start to change our attitude now. We have to start thinking, I'm not the only one who is visiting this planet Earth. There's so many. So I have to share this planet. And everyone's aspiration is to have a comfortable visit, have a comfortable stay here. So we must know that I'm not the only person here. There's so many, from the ant to from all these little insects to the animals to the environment. This has to exist like an ecosystem because we all have to help each other. Whoever is here have a role to play. Therefore, we must take care of each other. If you talk to a child today, if you say to care for something, here now their national anthem is becoming "Who cares?" You tell them something, they go, "Who cares?" I had this first-hand experience also with them. So if we don't change this attitude, I think it's going to be a very difficult place for us to live. The visit to planet Earth is going to be a very uncomfortable journey. So if we all want to have a good experience while we are on Earth in this short period of time, we all need to now change the way we think. We just can't think about only about I and me and myself and just my family. Because we should be able to see now it is this way of living and try to find happiness leads to the more stress, and it activates a fight or flight reaction, and then we start to indulge in our own misery, indulge in our own unhappiness, but we feel good. And we will also not just, it's like eating the vomit. You just start to enjoy that in the same way. We just start to enjoy all these negative things. And then it will come a time we will start to enjoy violence, cruelty, hurting one another. That's the most unpleasant thing when it comes to that. But in today's society, it indicates 1 in 3 people are actually in that state. So when your mind is sick, means you don't have the ability to really think in the proper way. When the mind is not in a balanced state, when the mind goes into this imbalance, it will start to just go into only about what I want, what I don't want, and just living just in the self-centered way, and it will go down that path where it will lead from the wanting to please the senses all the time to the ill level and then to the cruel level. So that is what we call being mentally ill most of the time. If we develop that, that's where we will end up being so insensitive to others. So if we want to reverse this now, this happened as a result of we being selfish. The depression, the mental illnesses, the mental instabilities, all that is equal selfish way of thinking, selfish way of talking, selfish way of doing things, selfish way of living. So now if someone wants to reverse this misery, what's happening to us? They need to understand it is this avijja, this ignorance about what's going on, it's creating all this. So then we must work hard to get rid of our ignorance. We must learn what's happening. Who am I? What am I supposed to do while I'm here on earth for this short period of time? Like that, we have to start questioning and thinking. Then Buddha pointed out, actually, we are so busy about I and me and myself, but really, when you investigate, it's like you're finding no real water in the mirage. Only if someone investigates that they will find no water in a mirage. The same way, this appears, this body, the feelings, the emotions, the thinking, because we didn't investigate them, how they come to be, what created them. We didn't see the causes and conditions are at play. So it manifested like some static thing is doing things, like a I, me, a person, the soul. But when we investigate where is this soul, where is this static thing that we can call I, me, or myself, all we find is the body, the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts. But then if you investigate them, where is this I in them? You will find there is no seat of I, or you can't locate a me or a soul in the body, or not even in the brain, not in the feelings, not in the emotions, not in the thoughts. So this is why Buddha said, investigate thoroughly. Vipassana means investigate. So when you do that, then you find that real answer, whether there is a I to begin with. But as long as we live with this ignorance, we feel that. We identify our body as I, me, myself. If someone asks, who are you? Where are you? We will put our hands, here I am. That's the hand of the body. So you will say, here I am. You are showing to the body. But if you investigate the body from the top to bottom, bottom to top, inside out, outside in, you will find, you can't find the location of this, where this I is residing. Me or myself. So this clear thinking, or understanding things deeply with wisdom, will give you the real answers, the realities. Will be able to see the reality. We'll be able to understand what's exactly happening. Like that, we can investigate the feelings. It's all to do with the hormones, the nerves. When the causes and conditions are there for a certain thing to come up, they come up, and when the causes and conditions are not there, they won't be present. Like that. The emotions the same. They also work with the hormones, with this body, and with these chemicals, like that. So there we can't find, even though we say I'm angry, or I feel sad, I'm sad, can't really, even though we identify them as I or me or myself or their mind, my states of mind, when you investigate them thoroughly, you will find they're just the electromagnetic things, the chemicals, the hormones are at work. They come and go when the proper causes and conditions are there manifest. When they are not there, they won't manifest. Same way, the thought levels too. So this is called the Kaya Kayanupassana viharati, Vedananu Vedananupassī viharati, Chitte Chittanupassī viharati, Dhamme Dhammanupassī viharati. That means, normally it's translated as the four foundation of mindfulness. But it is these four states that we personalize. So this is why Buddha said to depersonalize them, you need to investigate thoroughly. But to come to that, you need to understand this first from theoretically. And then when you look at it from that angle, and you do your own investigation to find out whether there is a self or not, then you will find out. So that way, we don't have to practice something new to practice selflessness, but with understanding, when we find that self was a delusion, but with thorough investigation, we find no static thing, no valuable thing, nothing that will not change. There is no very important, static, valuable thing we can hold on to, saying, this is me, this is myself. Then we will see what is here is a bunch of impersonal activities going on. We will see the impersonal nature. That's when we say, when someone has realized that they have got enlightened, they have come to the self-realization. So then they are free from this selfishness, self-centeredness, because they have found out the self. To begin with, there is no such thick self to take something as a self, but it was just some activities that went on, some parts, the body, the organs, the chemicals that was at work. So when they solve this mystery, they will become naturally a selfless being. So an arahat, the fully enlightened being, through this realization, becomes a selfless being. So it is them who have the most happiness in their life. If there is someone who lives so happily, it is these selfless beings who have realized this selflessness, the fully enlightened beings, the arahats. So their happiness didn't come from having money and fame and the education and the properties and the investment properties and the power and the beauty and this, that and the other. No. Their happiness didn't come from playing games, going for shopping, going on tours, singing, dancing, and going for the pub, having drinks, having the weed, having the drugs. No. Their happiness came from realizing this actual nature, who you are. When you do that, when you don't think in any way now anymore about I, you, myself, the body will bypass the sympathetic. It will not activate the limbic system. So therefore you will be free from the stress cycle, the fight or flight reaction. You will be free from all emotions, all 5 hindrances. So in the absence of this stress, what you get is a parasympathetic activating and it releasing hormones that relaxes the body with no consequences, bad consequences following it. But with that relaxation coming the comfort to the body. With that comfort in the body, the mind will settle down and it will be very happy. with that settledness, with that satisfied feeling, with that thick peace, sense of tranquility. So this bliss is called the, if you have an imperturbable serenity, not shaking for the midst of any vicissitudes of life, this is called the Nibbanic bliss. It is not something to be achieved after you die. This joy, this happiness is to be experienced while we are alive with this realization. So it's the Arahants who experience this total bliss, the highest joy that a human being can enjoy. So, path to real, proper, good quality happiness is through this, not practicing selfishness, but practicing the selflessness. Now, as I said, it has to come from realization. So until we realize that, until we do our homework and develop ourselves to that level and realize this through our wisdom, we can't live, even though we have the thick sense of I, me, and myself, we can't live selfishly because we know it's wrong. So this is why then we have to incorporate everyone else into our world, and then at least all the time when you think, when you make decisions, incorporate everyone into your world and think big. Have a bigger heart, broader mind, not just I, me, myself, and my family, just that narrow little mind. But we will have a broader mind, broader heart if we incorporate. We can't all beings, as at least as many as we can. So when we do that, we start to live with the concern of everyone else's welfare and well-being. So if I like something and I want to satisfy that desire, but if I see someone else is getting hurt in that process, directly or indirectly, whether you have an intention or not, if someone is getting hurt, if someone is getting killed, whether it's an animal or a human being or an enemy or anything, environment is getting destroyed, then that desire is not a good one. That desire is not something to pursue, but it is something to give up. And also, when we are not happy, when we are frustrated, when we are angry, or when we have anxiety, worries, and when we don't like something and we want to get rid of it, if we try to express that in a way that it's going to hurt or harm any living being, then that frustration, that anger, that ill experience, that hatred is something not to be expressed, but to let go. Either to forgive and forget and move forward, or to develop unconditional loving kindness and then let go of that hatred. There's many methods, but the point is that it is something to be let go of. But today we don't hear these things. We are so busy to get what I like and to get rid of what I don't like. Even though we call Buddhist, we don't follow what Buddha say. We just live the way we want, blindly, following everyone else what they are doing. So as a result of that, even though we are Buddhist, we also have a lot of stress in our life now, a lot of emotions in our life. We also get angry. We also have anxieties, worries, fears, depression, mental illnesses. Why? Because we didn't listen to the Buddha. We did not manage ourselves. We did not try to overcome this selfishness and become selfless. It wasn't about our education. Those days, our ancestors, the education was about that in Buddhist countries. If we had a little selfish behavior when we were small, the education gave us that education to understand what's going on. And when we finish the education, we have become a lot more humble, very nice, very with qualities, and very selfless. And we were ready to practice selflessness practically. So we would go and help someone. We call the job. We didn't do a job, or we didn't do something to get paid, get a salary, so I can have a big salary and have my BMW and have a big bungalow and all that. No. At that time, after finishing the education, it was about finding a way how to serve others, how to practice this selflessness, how to sacrifice my time, energy, my brain, my good thinking, my talents, how to use it to make others happy, to make this a better place, or to help them to be free from suffering. That's the attitude at that time. But after we got mixed up with other views and other ways of thinking, that everything is created for you, it's all about your rights, and it's all about everything's for me, so I can, at the expense of everyone else, I can even kill, and I can do anything I want, and I can live happily. But the most important thing is about my happiness. So when everything got focused to I and me and myself, that is where stress levels started to go up in the West. So when the West came to the East, this is what happens. So that education system was changed from the spiritual development of oneself and getting that real good quality happiness. It was changed, and it was all about now, the education is all about me. So this is why those days more and more the people educated, they were spiritually advanced. They were a lot more happier. But today we find that when you look into the suicides, we don't have the suicides of uneducated, but the numbers are higher in educated. If you compare the uneducated and the educated, the suicide levels are higher in the education. Why? Because they are more stressed. They have more expectations, more greed, more hatred. They use everything they have to develop more and more to I and me and myself and just to my family. So it's a lot of stress. Educated have a lot more stress than now the normal ones. It's statistics. But those days the education was different, and more you are educated, more and more you lived comfortably and happily, because they learned to do more service to the society. So now, so it's up to us to reverse this now. How we have come here, and if you can see where we should be going, what attitudes we should have, you all can reverse. I know what you are doing is a very honorable, worthy job or a vocation, being doctors, nurses in the medical college. So now you have got an opportunity to serve others, to help to free others from suffering. So we must see this as an opportunity where you can develop loving kindness, compassion, but it has to be genuine. You must not become a doctor to get a good pay or a good salary to buy you the fashion car, the house, the investment property to have a good life. If we go in that selfish way, stress will be the result. But if you dedicate your life, sacrifice your life for the welfare and well-being of others, and a lot of the people who have physical, mental suffering, their well-being is in your hands. If you see this as an opportunity to help someone, to lift someone up, to help someone to wipe off their suffering, at least temporarily, and you do your best, your parasympathetic will get activated and you will start to get immense peace and happiness. And if we can live without stress, if we can activate this parasympathetic and live this relaxed, comfortable, peaceful, happy life naturally, your healing abilities also will kick in. Your own body will start to go into the healing mode. And also, because you have a pure heart now, pure mind, even just the wish that when you're treating someone, oh, may they be free from that. May I be able to find the actual cause of this problem, why they are suffering. What is the cause of this disease? What is the cause of this problem? You will be able to see it. You'll be able to become a natural healer. Those days in Sri Lanka, before the Western medicine came there, we had like the Veda Mahathuru or the indigenous doctors or like the Ayurvedic doctors. They were not there to earn money, but they had their own way of finding money, other jobs, whether they were farmers or whether they did other good things and earn their money. But when they were needed to treat someone, because they were natural healers and they also had the knowledge with the nature. When they see a plant, they knew this plant has these chemicals, this person's body gone out of balance, these chemicals are out of balance, so they will use that plant to balance the chemicals of that body. So that's a pill in nature, because their minds were that developed, they could resonate with the nature. So we have everything in nature, what we need. So they use those natural things to heal people. And just their pure intentions will heal people. They were the doctors at that time. And they have done miracle things, heal people in the miracle way. If you hear, one very good doctor was, you have heard about Buddha, how Buddha have healed, but in recent times, it is actually Jesus. If you read into that Bible, you will see how Jesus have given the vision to the blind, how he had made people who can't walk even walk, and things like that instantly. And even today, you will find there is healers like that, where they only have to see people, or they don't even have to see or touch. They can just from far distance, they can do healing. How? They can tap into the universe. They have a pure mind, so their intention works, or they can access in the universe the healing things, and they can just do it. I'm sure you have good healers in Singapore, and I have personally met this type of people. They are the real doctors. They're helping people to alleviate their suffering. So the doctor also doing the same thing. So becoming a doctor in the Western way also good, because they get to know the anatomy, the physiology, everything in the scientific way. And with that, if they have this very pure mind that they are living for the sake of others' welfare and well-being, and they are practicing this selflessness, and they are dedicating their life for the others to free them from suffering, wow, they'll be the best healers, because they have the physically the knowledge, the scientifically the knowledge, and they know how to balance the chemicals with the drugs and also without the drugs. So anyway, so you're in one of the best, you're doing one of the best jobs, because if you do it in the proper way, it will free yourself from suffering. You will not get stressed. The stress won't be part of you. When you're studying, when you're sitting for exams, when you're, looking after the patients, when you're making decisions, you won't be stressed. Why? Because you're not doing it for self-interest. You're not doing it for your own benefit. You don't have selfish agendas. All your wish is to help others, be there for others. So even when we are studying, we don't have to kill ourselves. If I have the ability, I do it. From the maximum that I can do, I just do it. I don't have to kill myself. So no competition, nothing. You just do it very naturally. So the relaxation will come when we are relaxed, when you are not stressed. Whatever you study will retain in your brain, in your mind. You will be able to remember, memorize, and you will understand things deeply and clearly. If your mind is free from anger, anxiety, worries, if there is no unnecessary chemicals filled in the brain, your other brain cells that keeps the memory and give you good clear understanding will work. They will get sharpened and they will work properly. So you don't have to study hard because your brain is in good condition, the mind is in good condition. If our life has become difficult, that is as a result of we not practicing in the proper way. Self is getting in the way. That's why. So if you're all stressed out, just think why, and you will see how the self is interfering with it, how the selfish agendas are there, you're doing it for your own benefit. So this is the way to de-stress. We need to do it with understanding, but until we come to that understanding, we need to practice consciously. My aim in my life is not to practice selfishness, not to develop selfishness, not to call this developing selfishness as the advancement in the society in today's life. But we are to practice the selflessness. When we do that, you know this, your own parasympathetic will work when you're not conscious about the self, when you're not thinking about the self-survival, when you're not filled with I and me and myself thoughts in the mind. This is why we can fool the mind temporarily if we just think, may all beings be well and happy, may all beings be well and happy, just for 5-10 minutes even. The mind gets and it will go into the parasympathetic after you saying this itself, just thinking about others. More time you take, you can experience this. It will activate the parasympathetic and you will feel good. But that's temporarily, only until you keep on saying this. But the real meditation is not just sitting in a cushion and just saying that. It has to be that way of living throughout the day, throughout your life. That is called genuinely purifying yourself, genuinely developing a pure mind, pure heart. When your whole life becomes a meditation. A lot of the people, it's not easy to live in that way. But for you all as doctors, very easy. Because you work with people with suffering. It's a natural thing that triggers IOI. So if you can dedicate your life for that, your parasympathetic will activate. You will be able to live a good, comfortable life. So don't go there for the salary or for the increments or for the promotions or this, that, and the other. But genuinely be interested in others' welfare and well-being, free them from suffering, do your best. And you will not have stress. There's a toggle system in the body, the stress and the no stress. If you're activating the sympathetic by being concerned about I, me, myself, it is the limbic system that will get activated, the fight or flight reaction, the rest stress reactions. But if you bypass that and practice this selflessness, it will be the parasympathetic that takes charge. And then when there is nothing to concern about I and me and myself, about my survival, then the body will be going in the parasympathetic and the pineal gland will take control, and then it will secrete hormones that will relax your body totally. When it's relaxed, you will feel so comfortable. With that comfort, you feel so good. And that good feeling comes from also stabilizing the mind. You will not have emotions, but you will have a very satisfied feeling and deep peace. With that, the whole system will be happy. So you will get happiness. So you have to experience this. It is the same thing that we now selfishly want to get this relaxation and bliss. Just like that. How? By using the drugs. Because they also work in the same centers in the brain. They activate this, they stimulate the pineal gland, they will get the DMT, and you will get that relaxed feeling and high feeling and so peaceful, and you can be in that la la land so happy until the drug is there. But when the drug wears out, you will come back to your normal stress life. And you don't like, now the contrast is so much, you don't like that way of life. So you will have to spend more money to go and get drugs again and again and again. Because it's foreign that we are doing this and we are disturbing the system. This is not happening naturally. You can even go cuckoo. Your brain can get very disillusioned. You can start to get hallucinations. Your brain will lose its control. Your mind will be lost. And this will have an effect in the kidneys, the livers, and whole body, and also the mind. So this is the path to disaster if you mess with this system. But using the cigarette and the alcohol and the weed and the naan and the drug, the LCD can do this to some extent. Drug has the most effective one where you will get instant relaxation and have this bliss. This is why people have the drug. They get addicted to that because it gives so good feeling. But this is the wrong way to have it because it has a lot of bad consequences. It will give you ill health, short life, and also you will lose the brain and the mind that you had. And you will, when you lose that, you will be no more a human being then after that. So when we degrade our brain, our mind, and when we die, we will be born in that same way, maybe like a retarded person next time, because we abuse the brain, the mind. So we don't have that developed thing in the next life. So this is also not just one life that we have. We have life after two. It will doom that life after two. So this is why we should not settle into getting this quick relaxation in the wrong ways. You know, starting from little things like innocent things like watching the TV and watching the pornography and playing games and shopping and touring and getting addicted to the gym and what else do you all do? Singing and dancing, and then to this cigarette and alcohol and drugs. Then getting addicted to get happiness from this developing hatred and cruelty. These are wrong ways because they have so much consequences associated with it that can give us ill health and short life and wreck the brain and the mind, and that can doom our not just this life, even life after. After the brain is gone, you can't have a good sound mind. When you don't have a good sound mind, you can't make good decisions. So So if you can see clearly, there's two methods of finding this pleasure and happiness. One is a very selfish way, which will lead into more and more suffering. It will give you momentary pleasures, happinesses, relaxation, but it will take you down. Long term, you lose this life and the life after. But there is another way where you have to work hard genuinely to get rid of this selfishness, but practice selflessness with body, speech, and mind. So while you're developing your understanding, until your understanding comes to that self-realization, fully enlightenment, until that, we need to, even though we are selfish, it's in the genes, we have to act to get rid of the selfishness. We have to work towards getting rid of the selfishness and practice selflessness consciously throughout our life. So that will give us the real path, the proper path to activate this relaxation, the parasympathetic path, and the feeling good pathways. And slowly, slowly, it will develop this proper happiness and more the realizations that who you are, getting closer to the good bliss. From your own, you can develop that. So more we remove the mental defilements, all the five hindrances, we will get closer to something called samadhi or dhyana. It's not just by watching the breath. That's the other thing. There's a lot of people think watching the breath we can do this. Yes, watching the breath is a good thing to relax temporarily. It will activate relaxation. It's scientifically proven if you take deep breath or you breathe consciously, it will activate the relaxation. But if we call the mindfulness is watching the breath, just by watching the breath itself, you will never get enlightened. You will never be able to change your attitudes from this sense of self, the selfishness, the ego, to a selflessness. But you can get relaxed, correct. But it is again another temporary, innocent method of relaxing, but wasting time. Because there's no attitude change or anything comes with that just by watching the breath in the nostril or the tongue going up and down, rising and falling. But it will relax you. If you want to relax, that's one of the most free ways. You don't have to spend money, and also very innocent way. Relaxation is important. But at the same time, you have to understand just by watching the breath in anywhere in the body is not going to enlighten you. It's not going to help you to come to that self-realization if you don't understand who we have taken as the self, if we don't penetrate into who, what we have personalized as the self and how to depersonalize it. How these aggregates are working, the Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, how these five aggregates are creating this drama. If you don't penetrate into that, and understand the anicca, dukkha, anatta aspects, just by watching the breath, you'll never get enlightened. You'll never get into that permanent bliss, to the samadhi, to this understanding. So meditation is not something you just sit for 5-10 minutes or half an hour or for 1 hour cross-legged sitting in one place and watching the breath. The real proper meditation is an attitude change from the selfish being transforming to selfless being. And that transformation has to be done throughout the day, consciously. While sitting, eating, sleeping, standing, walking, working, this has to be carried out. So more you can do it consciously, more the meditation will develop, more the purity will develop, more the purity, more the relaxation will come, more the relaxation, more you will be comfortable and peaceful and happy. So whether you watch the breath or not. But after you purify to a certain extent, there will come the final act, To that we can't run around to do the serious contemplation, that where we got kind of entangled to think that there is I, me, myself. To do that investigation, yes, Buddha is saying you have to sit with your body erect, because the nervous system have to be in line with the brain, because all the messages have to flow, the energies have to flow, the relaxation has to take place. So Buddha says in the final lap, with each and every breath, you must do this contemplation. You must see how this anicca, dukkha, anatta, how these five aggregates comes when the causes and conditions are there, how it creates seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and how that creates a sense of I, me, myself. This is what is explained in the Paticca Samuppada. When you don't see it, how it leads to personalization and tanha, to the suffering. And then to birth and death. Because when there is I was born and I will die. A lot of suffering. So in that Paticca Samuppada, this is what Buddha is showing. So to reverse that, it has to come from understanding. So if we aim to understand the life, this body, this mind, who we are, that meditation has to be 24 hours throughout the life until we get enlightened. That is the path to real happiness. So I hope you understood something, and wish you all the best. So with the understanding, may you all lead to enlightenment, and may you all find freedom from suffering and help others also to find freedom from suffering, physical and mental suffering. May you be able to help to elevate their mental and physical suffering. And may you enjoy the bliss of Nibbana, and also may you be able to help others also find that bliss of Nibbana. So with that wish, I will stop here, and we can have some questions, and we can discuss things too. If you have any questions, please take the opportunity. What's the time now, sister?
8:39.
Huh?
Yeah, do we 8:39?
So we still have.
Verbal, you have until 9 p.m.
Hmm.
I think that was the planned. But anyway, I think there's one question in the chat box. Would you
Yes.
like me to read out? Okay, so
Yes, please. Yes,
thank you,
please.
Venerable Bodhicitta's wise reminders. What are your thoughts about using phones and online YouTube video cartoons on virtues to engage young children, while mom and dad manage the children's tantrums? Often unpleasant sensation for the parents. And then the second question is, how do parents
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Can you please repeat that question
Oh,
again? Sorry.
okay, so what are your thoughts about using phones and online YouTube video cartoons on virtues?
Cartoons, did you say?
Yes, cartoons
Uh-huh.
on virtues to engage young children, while the parents manage the children's tantrums, which are often unpleasant sensations for the parents. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a second question, but show
Second
you.
question is from the same
Okay.
one.
Yeah, the same. So how do parents balance selflessness, teaching their children virtue, and maintaining their personal well-being?
Very good question. So, those days, the marriage was a contract to practice selflessness. Because all this time, you being looked after by your parents, and you were like the king or the queen in the house, everyone paid attention to you, and you got everything what you want. And now when you go into the marriage, it's about you taking someone else, you sacrificing your liking and dislikings, and you just think like, not like I, think like we. So there will be a lot of sacrifices to come to the middle. So you don't just live for yourself. When the other one is looking after you, you look after the others. That was the marriage. And this is why the marriage lasted. It was born with unconditional love, kindness, compassion. It was about care. So when we start to learn to care for another person in that way, so we are practicing selflessness, and not like today. So today it's all about I, me, and myself. You are there to help me. You are there to give me happiness. If you don't do what I say, that's it, divorce. So it wasn't, marriage is not meant for that. Marriage is kind of a contract to practice that selflessness. If you do it in that way, it's a very pleasant one. Both of them are sacrificing their own liking and dislikings and things for others' welfare and well-being. So there is immense understanding and patience, tolerance, and unconditional loving kindness and all that. So in that loving home, then comes the children. So it gives another level of practicing the selflessness. So now you don't live for your own sake. Now we have brought up these children to this world. So what the parents do is now they dedicate, sometimes if there's only little food, parents don't eat, they give it to the children. So like this, from the genes itself, this comes. So they start to practice not living for themselves, but for the sake of children's welfare and well-being. So when they keep practicing that, this good way, it doesn't mean you giving what the children are asking, anything and everything they want, they desire. That's not what it means. You're parenting them. You're showing them in example that you're practicing selflessness, but we are not stupid. We are giving them only what is needed for them to grow as a good human being. So we have not just given birth, but we are giving food not just to the tummy, but to the mind as well. And when the kittens are there, the cat teaches them how to be a kitten, how to do the kitten things without tuition, but the mother does it. When there is a dog or the bitch giving birth to the puppies, puppies do exactly what the dogs do because the mother and the father, they train them with no tuition. But they then become a full-grown dog and they do dog things. So the animals can do it with their little ones offspring. So the human being also should be able to do it, to make sure that not just to be a normal human being even, but to develop these good qualities, the 10 perfections. Those are the things that we need to perfect, develop to become selfless. And more we become selfless, you will see the person becomes a advanced one or a greater being. So in the world, we have people who we recognize as great people. All those great people they have become great because they have shown this selflessness. Selflessly, they have served. So we can help to bring our children to be one of those great people who can benefit even the whole world. So parenting it's something we have to learn. So first, we need to live a relaxed, comfortable life without stress, and we parents have to have peace and harmony within and understanding and everything. No violence, no cruelty, no arguments, no harsh way of living, but running the house with love, kindness, compassion, and with all these good qualities, good virtues. And then when you bring children into that environment, they will also mimic that, they will follow that, they will see how their parents making decisions, thinking about others and how they make the decisions. So they will see that my parents also don't buy anything that if that harms or hurts someone. They won't do anything, they won't say anything. then when the children grow in that environment, they will learn naturally by watching their parents. And they will also follow the path to selflessness. So this parenthood is about, actually it helps. It helps more than someone living on their own. When you have children, when you have more children, it helps them to practice more the selflessness. It gives more opportunities. But we must do it with understanding. Otherwise, this parenting also become very stressful if we don't understand about this parenting thing. If we want to have children because they will we want someone to look after us when we are old, that's going to create a problem. And a lot of the time nowadays, the children don't have time for the parents. They will end up in the aged care anyway. The parents get utterly frustrated and they are very unhappy in the aged cares. Why? Because all their investment and all their things that they invested into children, thinking they will look after them when they are old, is gone. The hopes are gone. So they're very depressed, very unhappy. So we must not bring the children to the world for the selfish reasons. It will bite us back. So we must do it to the right reasons, giving someone an opportunity to become a human being, and not just a normal human being, a superhuman being, a great human being. We will go about. So we will have that happiness, seeing the children developing, seeing the children, successing, advancing in the humanness. We will get free happiness. And if you not just give the education, but you nourish them spiritually, you will have a very satisfied life. And they will know with gratitude how to look after their parents, how to look after their teachers, how to look after their adults, how to look after the ones who have helped them to get there. They will know. Then we don't need the aged care. So we do need to do the duties properly. First, we need to understand the purpose of life and how to get there. When we practically do it in the proper way, the children will learn and they will follow us, and also we will teach them. We can teach because we know what we are doing. Today we don't know what we are doing, and we think happiness comes from just giving them what they are asking. Happiness comes from pleasing their senses. So give the phone, they give the game, and give everything they want, they are asking. So help them to develop more and more emotions. So they will be very emotional, not just from the desire end, even with anger, anxiety, worries. So they will have a weaker mind. And in the world, more than the adults, what we have is the highest youth suicide rate. Why? Our children are very weak. Why? We didn't teach them how to face things peacefully, how to sort things out with wisdom, how to live a selfless way of life. We didn't strengthen them, their spirit, their spiritual side. We only fed their bodies. The bodies went this way and that way, it got bigger and heavier and taller, that's all. But their brain is like a mustard seed. Their mind is like a undeveloped thing. So they can't face anything. So this is what we can see today. So we need to understand love. What is real love, proper love, and how to develop a child into being a good being. So it's about 20 years of contract with heavy work, like in the prison. No rest. So that is practicing selflessness, because no more you can focus on you, you have to focus on them. So anyway, that. And also they ask about using the device, the phone. Yes, the phone is there to call someone. With the phone now we can use the alarm, we can use it for this, that and the other. Yes, make use of it. But don't use it for the wrong ones. to watch the pornography and to play the games and to waste the time and things like that, to develop unnecessary emotions. We must not use it, and we must not let our children do that. Children don't understand. So when you give a phone, you need to tell them this is only for this particular use. Because if you do use it for other things, you get addicted and you'll be like a drug addict. Now they are saying playing games creates that addiction similar to cocaine. So it will wreck the brain, wreck the mind. So if you're giving these devices, the phone, the iPad, the computer and everything, you have to explain to them this is like a double-edged sword. If you don't know how to use it in the proper way, it'll do more damage. So letting them watch the YouTube is okay, but what you let them watch, that's what matters. If you're letting them watch good documentaries, good things to learn, it's about the ethics, morals, virtues, how the Prince Siddhartha lived, how he lived like a little child but make good decisions. The Jataka stories, I think there is a lot of stories and a lot of Buddhist way of, keeping children engaged in the YouTube. Just use them, because when you watch them, if they are getting inspired, if they know what they should be doing as children, how to make decisions, how to not hurt anyone, and how to look after everyone. This is what the Jataka stories are about, those 550 stories, how the Bodhisattva, before he became a Buddha, how he had to face difficult situations and how he overcome that all the time, the evil with the good. And now I'm sure a lot of people have put them into the cartoons, and also maybe there is Buddhist games too now if you really want to let them play, but that has to be something that the brain will develop some good things, good messages. So it's okay. But that also should be with time limits, for a day, maybe just half an hour, 1 hour, because it's a game, even though you let them do that instead of the violent games, this will add some stress to the brain because the neurons has to fire and all that. But at least doing that, if they are learning something, it's okay. Because everyone wants to play games, now you're substituting something good with them. But if we just allow them to follow their friends and go with the norm and just let them play the games that involves, violence, cruelty, killing, what you think, you will become that. What you practice in the mind, you will get good at that. So what will happen if people are playing the violence, hitting each other, arguments, killing each other? There will come a time the brain gets very good at it. And in real life, they will put it to practice. In no time, now you saw in Canada what happened. 6 people dead. So that child had a problem with these games. And it was not very hard to get a knife and stab everyone to death. 6 people, including 4 children. Didn't take long time. And if the mind goes out of control, what will happen? So education had not done anything. He's a university student. So the A levels or the university studies has not done much. Education is the murderer, mass murder. So education is empty if it's not coupled with this, giving this good nourishment to the mind, the spiritual development. But I don't know when this will come to the syllabus. But at least we ourselves can do it to our children, because we have control over that. So you can choose what you let them watch in the TV, in the YouTube. As long as they're good, they're inspiring, they're nourishing the spirit or spiritual development. It's going to help them to learn what to develop, what to give up. Good. Let them watch. But limit it also. Like either it's only in the weekend or movie night on Friday, but some useful things. There is, I showed it in my youth group some time ago, that in Netflix, here we have something called Netflix, maybe it's worldwide, I don't know. Well, The Surviving Death, it has 6 episodes. So for the children who question about the life after, whether there is a life after or not, this, that, and the other, that's a good documentary movie that has 6 episodes. So I'm sure there are a lot of documentaries like that about the mind powers, the Buddha, and Buddha's stories and things like that. So you pick and choose them and enjoy it with them. So while you're entertaining, you will get good knowledge and inspiration. It's about, we need a knife, how you use it. YouTube, the media, everything, the phone is also the same. We need them now. We can't live without them. How we are going to use it? To hurt ourselves or to get the work easy, done easy? It's up to us. It's whether we are going to use it for the advancement or to go down. So each individual can choose. And also you can make choices for the children and show them the way, which way they should be going. If you program them, from the neuroscience says that when a child is born, you can program them from up to 4 years. 100% you can program them. They will take whatever you're teaching, they will watch, they will mimic, and then the neuron patterns will be created in the mind. So whatever you teach them for the first 4 years, they will absorb 100% like a dry sponge. But after the 4 to the 10-year mark, they will pick and choose what they want, what they like, and take some things, throw out some things. So, but if you miss this opportunity, the window up to 10, and you try to discipline someone after 10, no chance, not much chance, because then they start to think in their own, and their influence, the friends, what they hear, what they see, everything is going to take part. And if you haven't done any programming when you were young, they will pick and choose, and they will just do their own program. And after that, it's very difficult to take them to where you want to take them. So make use of that time, the first 4 years. I suggest that from the parents, one parent should be with them and program them according to the Dhamma way. Because when you are not there, you're only interested in earning money, and you send these children to the childcare and all that. You don't know throughout the day what they learn, what they're doing. So that's my advice. Anyway, I hope you got the answer to that question. If you're satisfied, okay. If you're not, you can ask again. Is there any other questions?
I have one question, actually, Venerable. Okay, I have one comment and one question. So, I think just now, Venerable, you mentioned that sometimes people enjoy like feelings of anxiety and anger. I think for me personally, before I learned the Dhamma, I think it was more of a coping mechanism. Like because I didn't know how to deal with certain situations. So maybe anxiety was a way to cope. Yeah. But I didn't like, I mean nobody likes being anxious, I guess. But it's just because perhaps I didn't know how to face a certain situation. Yeah, so that's how I felt. Yeah, then so I'd like to ask Venerable, as much as we try to develop like metta and compassion towards other people. And we try to be more empathetic. But sometimes it works. Sometimes it's not so genuine. Sometimes it can be just like on the intellectual level. And it's not easy to always feel like genuine kindness or compassion towards other people. So do you have any advice on this?
Yeah, because this is not something we can really develop by just saying, oh, may all beings be well and happy. That's the thought that should embedded, that should be ingrained in our day-to-day life from morning to night. That's why I said we need to develop this. So the true, genuine, unconditional loving kindness, compassion, this mudita, the upekka, they all come. How much you have developed the selflessness, to that degree you have that quality in your heart. So the one who has real unconditional loving kindness and compassion and all those for Brahma Viharas is an arahat. When you become selfless only, you will have these true genuine qualities naturally coming up, because that's there. We cannot tap into it. It's hidden because we are selfish. But when we remove the selfishness, we will get this hidden thing coming up, and that will be our nature. So it is a selfishness that is hiding this nature. So while we are selfish, all we can do is we can kind of calculate, like from the surface. This is why it's not genuine, and thank you for pointing it out. It will never be genuine. So it is a conscious effort that we have to keep practicing when the selfishness comes, and then allowing, consciously thinking, selfless way and being there for the others' welfare and well-being. That's what we can do until we get fully enlightened. Or you can get these qualities again to some extent in a genuine way when you don't have the 5 hindrances. So that is also a lot of training, that you need to remove all your selfish thinking and all the thoughts, the negative thoughts, unwholesome thoughts. And then when you do that, then the 5 hindrances will go away. In the absence of 5 hindrances, you will have 100% harmony, peace, and then you can again find this unconditional, this interest in others' welfare and well-being, the genuine interest, what we call the unconditional loving kindness. But that is temporary. As long as the 5 hindrances are not there, you will have that genuineness, genuine concern for others' welfare and well-being. But the minute that you create the causes and conditions for the 5 hindrances to appear, that genuineness will start to disappear. So only when you become fully enlightened, the 100% this will get fixed, that your nature will be just that. So no need to practice anything. It's just like the natural state has come. But now, because we have disturbed it with these hindrances, these emotions, or these chemicals, from our ingenuine thinking, unwholesome thinking, the selfish, self-centered way of thinking, we have not allowed this peaceful state to manifest, but we have disturbed. So this is why there is this chemical, big I don't know what to call this, mud pool. When it's created in the brain, everything goes into chaos. The mind also very chaotic. No harm, no peace, no love, no kindness, no compassion. If there is love, it's more the lust. It's more about get what I like, to satisfy my senses. So this is the thing. Did you understand?
Yes.
You need to practice genuineness, genuinely 24 hours throughout your life, with understanding, with wisdom, seeing through things, cut through things with wisdom and understanding, coming to this selfless realization. That has to be the practice. When you do that, naturally you will get these states. They are already there.
Okay. Thank you, Venerable. I think Brother King has a message. He said that Venerable yourself will be hosting a 10-day silent retreat in Sala Arana Monastery and International Meditation Center in Sri Lanka from 5th to 14th April. So he said he's going. And then asking anyone else.
Okay, yeah. Because I haven't been to Sri Lanka for 4 years. During the COVID, I got sick here in Melbourne. So I have to be in Malaysia for some things to do help Maria Vihara. So while I'm flying there, I thought I may as well go to Sri Lanka because a lot of people keep asking. So I said, while I'm there, okay. They said, let's do a retreat. So we have a retreat at our retreat center from 5th of April to 14th of April. Then I'll be flying to Malaysia on the 19th and I'll be there until the 25th. Then I'll come back. So if someone wants to come and practice, you're welcome to come to Sri Lanka. You can ask Brother Kenny about the details and all that. If you'd like to join the 10-day retreat, you're welcome to. Thank you for reminding that.
Okay.
Venerable. Hello, I'm
Yes.
Barbara here.
Yes.
Hello, how are you, sister?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you very much for your very enlightening talk.
Thank you.
I was about to ask you when you are coming to Malaysia. So it's on the 19th.
No, we'll be touching down the 20th morning.
Oh,
And the Buddhist Mahavihara has a talk arranged on the 20th night.
yes.
And I forgot when the BGF has a talk, I think on that Wednesday on the 20th. But
Yeah. Yes.
when I get the post, I can send it to you. So the BGF has arranged a talk as well, but I'm there mostly for the Arya Vihara, for the Sima
Consecration.
marking.
Yes,
Consecration, yes.
Consecration, yes.
Yes.
I will see you in either the BGF or
Yeah.
Arya. I will go
Yes.
to Arya. So where will you be staying, Venerable?
BGF.
Oh, you're staying in BGF?
Because they have kindly offered the accommodation, so I don't have to run around, but I'll be staying there and then traveling from there because it's closer to the Arya Vihara.
Oh, great. Yes.
So I'll see you there, yeah?
Yeah, I'll
If
see
you
you
want
there.
to arrange a Dhamma talk, I still have some free time here and there. If you want to arrange something somewhere, welcome. I can send you my itinerary.
But not in Gautami Vihara, because during the weekdays, we can hardly get anybody who can attend. And
Yeah.
committee members also, some are working. So it's not very, we will go to BGF to listen to your talk, Venerable.
Sure.
So it's a long time since you were in Malaysia. I was
Yeah.
writing in our group chats saying that Venerable has so kindly supported us when we first started by attending our opening ceremony and also given us Dhamma talks and all that, and stayed in Gautami too. That was a long time ago, more than 10 years ago.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Wish you all the best and good luck and look forward to see you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
you so much for the insightful talk, Venerable. So I'm mindful of the time. Would Venerable like to lead the dedication of merits, or shall we just
I
do our puja?
I can do the dedication of merits and
Okay,
then maybe you can do the puja. No?
okay. Thank you, Venerable.
Okay, so thank you very much. I would like to share the merits with all beings, with the devas and also with the departed friends and the relatives. If there's anyone in need of merits and who want to partake in these merits, may they be able to partake in these merits and rejoice in these merits. So wherever they are, may they find peace of mind and happiness. And may these merits benefit them also to find a good birth. And if they are already having a good birth and enjoying happiness, may the happiness increase for a long time. And one fine day, may they all be able to penetrate into the Dhamma and realize the Dhamma, Four Noble Truths, and attain the Nibbana as soon as possible. So, keeping this wish, let's chant Ettavata Chammehi Gatha and share the merits with all the unseen beings. Ettavata Chammehi Sabbadam Punya Sampadam Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabbe Bhutha Anumodantu Sabbe Sattva Anumodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya. Also, let's share these merits with the devas, the divine beings. Akasatta Chivimatta Deva Naga Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakantu Loka Sasanan Chiran Rakantu Desanan Chiran Rakantu Mamparantu. Also, let's share these merits with the departed friends and the relatives. Idamme nyati nang hotu sukita ham punyate. Idamme nyati nang hotu sukita ham punyate. Idamme nyati nang hotu sukita ham punyate. Also, let's make the aspiration that all the merits that we have generated today by developing our understanding, that merits may be shared, may bring causes and conditions for us to associate with the good and the wise, and not to find the association with the foolish and the wicked. But until we attain Nibbana, let us be surrounded by the wise and the good. Keeping that aspiration in the mind, let's chant Imina Punya Kammena. Imina Punya Kammena Mame Bala Samadhamo. Satan Samagamu Hotu Yahweh. Also, let's aspire for attaining the Nibbana in this very life. Idamme punyang asavakya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamucchatu. Also, I would like to share these merits with the Medical Circle and with all the sisters that who arranged this, with the sisters and the brothers. And also, I would like to share these merits with the brother Kenyu because he invited me. And also, let's share the merits with everyone who attended today. May all of you find good health and long life, not just you, your parents, your partners, your family members, your siblings, your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your relatives, everyone. May they all benefit from these merits. May you all find good health and long life, and may you all find your good aspirations to come true. And one fine day, may you all be able to penetrate into the Four Noble Truths and be able to realize the Dhamma here and now in this very life, and experience the fruits of the Maggaphala and then attain the final salvation and experience the bliss of Nibbana as soon as possible. So may you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. Abhivadana Silisa. Nichang Buddha Pachayino Chattaru Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvatna Sukambalang. Ayurarogi Sampatti Saga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samechati Suklateva Tikeva Nirodhi Veva Utum Nivaning Sanasima Laga Veva Teruvan Saranai. May you all be well.